Good evening. Even as thousands of new cases are being reported from across the world, coronavirus continues to plunge the world into an unprecedented modern-day crisis. The WHO has termed it a pandemic. On this edition of India Ahead at 9, we take a look at the outbreak in India and the inevitable harsh economic impact that is being felt because of this pandemic. Dr. Chaulia, thanks for joining me at this point. You've written about the impact on, globalization and how coronavirus could really impact, because right now, with the world closing its borders, more and more countries deciding to, close themselves down. India did this yesterday in a partial lockdown of sorts. How do you see this going forward? Because everything is just the opposite of what we've seen in terms of globalization in the past. Your take?
Yeah, Sana, I think this is the death knell for globalization. It has been slowing down as a result of the rise of economic nationalism and far-right populism in the US and Europe. Trade barriers to movement of capital, barriers to immigration, to travel, all these had already been in place, and now, in a way, this is like the coup de grace, the one that finishes off the process of globalization itself. And frankly, this is like a black swan event. Nobody anticipated this, and suddenly, out of the blue, boom. And I think it's taking a heavy toll. And the responses have also been very, very diverse. There's been not much coordination or multilateral cooperation in trying to resolve this. So we are falling back to the old ways, which is based on nation state and nationalism. And it looks like everybody is not looking up to the WHO or to the World Bank or to some global institution, but to their own governments, and asking questions about their own government. So clearly the ultimate protector of the people of the world is not some kind of United Nations, but actually individual sovereign states. I think this is the moment that's making us realize that. And in many ways, the onus is back on nations and nation state. That borderless era where, people would move freely and capital was moving and trade was going on, that seems to have been pretty much erased now. And it's very difficult for me to conceive how this could come back again. I mean, obviously, it's an interconnected world. It still is an interconnected world. There is data, there's communication, but I think more and more restrictions. So the way Trump responded by imposing a total ban on travel from Europe, and the way the Europeans are, hitting back at Trump, and the blame game is on, So in that sense, this is total chaos from a governance point of view, global governance point of view, but this is natural because the era of globalization had created an artificial sense that somehow we had arrived at a higher state of existence where nations don't matter. But looks like, starting with Trump and many other countries, we are now pulling back to an earlier period where, nation state is the basis for fighting a global epidemic.
But interestingly, Dr. Chaulia, Professor Kumar talked about international cooperation, and you've also said in your opinion piece that what we're seeing right now is pure chaos and disorder, but the need of the hour is deeper international cooperation. Having said that, we've already seen India trying to supply the essentials to some of the neighboring countries, and what we also know, Boris Johnson had a telephonic conversation with Prime Minister Modi. Do you think this sort of international cooperation has been missing right from the start, but we can still pick up on it?
I think, Sana, we have to look at regions, and regionalism. This is the time for that new phenomenon to replace the old global order. Because, you see, in every region of the world, there are capable powers, emerging powers or rising powers. Like India, you're right, for our smaller neighbors, we are the lifeline. And we have been engaging in lots of humanitarian rescue missions across the Indian Ocean whenever these smaller countries are affected, and also in the Himalayas, Bhutan, Nepal, and to our east with Myanmar and Bangladesh. So this is the time where we have a superior capabilities, especially in terms of healthcare, but also in terms of emergency supplies and humanitarian rescue and relief operations. So I think we can do a phenomenal job, not only for our own society, which of course is affected, but for our neighbors, and make a point that a friend in need is a friend indeed, And likewise, I think around the world, you will see that countries that have the capabilities will rise to the fore. The problem with the US is that it has, withdrawn inwards and is not willing to take the lead on anything. anything. So I think it's very important that we understand that we are in a different era. We are in a post-American world order where every region will have to take care of itself. And I do see that regional cooperation is one way out of this. So I think we should be using all our mechanisms like SARC -1, BIMSTEC, and IORA for the Indian Ocean region, and should be using these institutional mechanisms to fortify our own respective neighbors. And that way we can provide the public goods. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sagar, our Prime Minister's famous phrase, stability and growth for all in the region. Coronavirus is a kind of crisis which is demanding Sagar from India. And I think we will rise to the occasion. We have been, honing our skills in humanitarian diplomacy over the last few years. And I think this is the way forward, because ultimately it's not going to be globalism or globalization that's going to save us. Right now it is nation, but we would like it to expand it to make it region, so that small groups of 5 or 10 countries can come together, plan together, and overcome this existential challenge.
Well, the WHO has said that this is a pandemic, but it's controllable. Let's hope it comes under control as soon as possible, because this is not just about one country. It's about the lives of millions and millions of people across the globe. All continents except Antarctica have seen this outbreak, and the world must be in this together in order to contain it, to minimize the impact on lives and the economies. Thank you so much, Dr. Chaulia and Professor Arun Kumar, for joining me on this edition of India Ahead at 9.